Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin, Alan Ruff, Lee McCulloch and Tam McManus are here with me, and this is what's on the agenda.
Shea Adams insists having three top strikers can only benefit Scotland ahead of Euro 2024, but it could also give Steve Clarke a selection headache.
It's a good option to have for the manager, and definitely a headache because all three of us bring a different quality. And
Philippe Clement reacts to the news that away allocations for the Old Firm derby have been increased to 5% from next season.
I think everybody loves football with two sides of fans who sing against each other.
Brandan Rogers reveals his disappointment in the result of his SFA charge, but he vows to take his punishment and return to the dugout at Ibrox. Stephen Naismith reacts to Lauren Shankland's recent Scotland displays and rates his chances of being on the plane to Germany this summer.
He plays a kind of lone striker, hold the play up, link the play, because people didn't think he could do it. He showed in the Holland game he can.
Yeah, lots to talk about on the programme, of course, a weekend where there are a few tasty encounters to discuss. Also, you can get a variety of programming right across PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. If you hit the subscribe button, if you download the app, you'll get all the breaking news at your fingertips. There are so many programmes for you to select from, and obviously quite a lot of topical stuff as well. This week we had Mike Edwards in. It's a former reporter and broadcaster with Scottish Television. Mike is really at the forefront of a campaign to try and get heading the football banned at every level. He set himself a target of 2030. This is off the back of so many of the legendary footballers that you can think of, from Billy McNeil, Gordon McQueen, Nobby Stiles, Jeff Assel, contracting dementia, Alzheimer's, and of course 3 to 5 times more likely to contract that disease if you are a footballer, a sports person heading the ball relentlessly in training and of course in a match situation as well. Mike himself says the effects of heading that ball and the evidence is there for all to see. So the difficulty is in your objective to try and get this implemented by 2030. How do you overcome the obstacles that UEFA have highlighted to you?
By simply repeating and reinforcing the key message. There is medical evidence out there, and there will be more medical evidence out there, that heading the ball is dangerous, and it will ultimately or can ultimately kill you.
Well, it's a hot topic, Ruffy. I think he's got a tough job in his hands to get the organisations, whether it's UEFA, FIFA, or indeed the associations from across the world, to agree to what would be one of the biggest changes in football.
Yeah, I think we all understand that heading is part and parcel of the game. I think it's a good thing if maybe youngsters take that on board in the process of coming to a senior level, but I can't see it. I really can't see it, in 2030, did he say?
Yeah.
For it to happen then. I think it's part and parcel of the game. I think other things you've got to take into consideration is the balls aren't as heavy as what are way back then, so I would like to think that would cut it down a wee bit if it still is ongoing. But again, the game itself has changed. Most of the game now is on the deck. You don't get the goalkeeper launching it as was 100% in my time. So the game is now on the deck, more from the back and everything. So surely that should cut it down as well. But no, he's got every right, to give his views. But I can't see it being passed.
Yeah, could you see it, Lee?
No, I don't see that transpiring at all. I think Ruffy makes some great points here. The balls are lighter now. There's probably, I've not got stats to back up, there's probably not as many headers as what there used to be, even going back 10, 15 years, never mind. I'm not being cheeky, but 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
for your man.
I think the points are great. The balls are lighter now. It's part of the game. It's an art in the game, and I don't see that happening.
Yeah, if anything, the percentages maybe as we go forward will be reduced of people contracting dementia, but you only have to look with great sympathy towards the McNeil family, the McQueen family, the difficulties of providing personal care, and the tragedy of just watching someone that was a vibrant sports person just diminish month by month to the point where there are no memories, there's no communication with each other.
Yeah, it's a dreadful disease, Peter. It really is, and I agree with the guys are saying. The balls back then, were heavier, waterlogged. Particularly if it was a wet game.
Yeah. Well, Billy McNeil was heading a heavy leather ball.
Yeah, they were leather ball, and even the one with the laces in them. Imagine heading the laces. The balls are so much lighter. I remember watching a video. I think it was Pelé, and he had a medicine ball on a bit of rope, and he was jumping up and practicing his headers. He's leaping his time and heading the medicine ball. Yeah. I mean, obviously they'd not got the science and the technology that we had back then, but I agree with Ruffy again. I think in terms of kids growing up, I think they should maybe be reduced in terms of heading the ball. But I think when you get to 16, you get to professional level, then I don't see that. I don't see that coming to fruition. Peter, no heading the ball. It's too big a part of football.
Yeah, absolutely.
A disappointing thing about it is, Tony Higgins, who we know quite well. Tony asked me to help with the dementia at the houses through in Edinburgh for compensation for dementia families, and it just got thrown out.
Yeah.
Tony did his best for everybody in the footballing world, the families, to get some kind of compensation, but never materialised.
It is an area which causes a lot of consternation as well, Ruffy, and it's a separate area from what Mike is championing at the moment. But that area basically will be, if clubs are to be held responsible for people in later life, then what they'll basically do is much the same as the American football. You'll sign a contract with a waiver saying you know the dangers before you even start.
Yes, I think that's what will happen. The clubs can't be held responsible for the players that have chosen to play unless they come in with that waiver. So I just don't see it transpiring. I get the concept, and for the families there's a lot of grievement, but I don't see it coming into football.
Yeah, and listen, best of luck to Mike. It's a hard battle. It'll be a long battle, and I think he's well aware of it. But we wish him well in his fight with that campaign. People love going to football matches. Now,
this will make you happy, Peter.
Well, I have to tell you, I know you're going to think I'm a killjoy here, but when this story actually broke, when it was a situation where the both of them were going tit for tat. And we had the obvious, Edinburgh people climbing all over my head because I suggested that it was merely started as a pilot through there. I don't care about the effects on Celtic and Rangers. What I did say to you is we're in a situation where no fans are allowed in. It's not good. There should be a full end for them. And I said what will happen is they'll end up coming back with 5% as this middle ground. And for some people, that's good enough. For me, it brings up a whole load of problems again, which let's throw it out to everybody here. What's your take on it? I think for next season, 5% away allocations for the Old Firm derby. It's about 2,500 tickets at Ibrox, 3,000 tickets at Celtic Park.
It's a step in the right direction, Peter.
I knew you were going to say that. Honestly, you could have said that 6 months ago.
No, Peter, listen. Listen, nobody wants to see no away fans, and the 600 was just a token gesture. It was pointless. 2,500, 3,000 is a pretty decent away support. I hope gradually we'll get back to the full stand again, or that whole area at Parkhead, or the stand at Ibrox. But we need it in place, Peter, because it just wasn't the same. You'll probably hear the Rangers manager speaking about it, in terms of the atmosphere. To have 60,000 Celtic fans at a home game and an Old Firm game, or 50,000 at Ibrox. First and foremost, it gives the home team, in my opinion, a huge advantage. And secondly, there's no atmosphere, in terms of if an away team scores. I remember Celtic Kyogo scored at Ibrox and it was silence. There's no. So it's a step in the right direction, Peter. I hope maybe in the following season, they'll come round and they'll go, right, okay, we'll give you that stand back.
Yeah. If anything, Ruffy, there is a suggestion that they're going to put netting in. I still think policing it could be a problem.
Yeah, well, at this moment in time, both Rangers and Celtic, they're just in a corner, which I think the police would be easier to handle, but that's only for 700. So is it in stone? Is it a legislation from the governing body? Has every club now got to honour that 5%?
No, this is an agreement that they've come to.
They've all come to, so none of them can say, no, we're not having that. We're just...
This is between Celtic and Rangers,
got to give them the 5%.
No, well, it is, because you're going to obviously widen the area that you've got to guard, you know, but you would like to hope that the supporters take it on board and say, look, we've been given a chance here, let's not ruin it.
Yeah, this is an old government tactic. You know, you're not getting that. Let's dig our heels in here and say you're not getting anywhere near it. And then obviously, as a token gesture after, you know, wringing the life out of it, you eventually get to a figure which is, you know, I think difficult. But I'm going to offer the balance on it, Lee, which is quite simply, it's a step in the right direction, as Tam mentioned, because we want to see both sets of fans, because that's what football is. It's a spectator sport.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think where we have been this season, where has not really been good enough, and then to add 5% next season, I think it's a positive because it's better off. There's going to be a better atmosphere. Policing it, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but as long as the fans are in there, what I do know, it'll be a better atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we all like to see. I'm of the opinion I'd like to see a full end for both sets of fans in the game. I think it set it apart from so many derbies, and the atmosphere was absolutely...
It's just an explosion of noise, Peter, when the away team scored, particularly, you know, at Ibrox, that full stand, you know, and even at Parkhead, you know, that whole area that Rangers had, you know, and it just, you're right, it adds to the spectacle, it adds to the atmosphere of the game, the colour of the game, and I think it wasn't a great viewing if you're a neutral and you're seeing, well, where's the away fans? Are you watching the game on TV, maybe in America or Canada or wherever, and you think, well, where's it? Oh, there's no away fans. How? So I think it's good for the game, Peter, and hopefully, as I said, the following season they get around the table and go, right, come on, it's time to get the full allocation again. Yeah.
Rangers released a statement saying it's always been their position for away fans to be present at derbies, and I also like to counter, you know, for everybody, it is a great atmosphere. Both sets of fans sometimes are guilty of unsavoury chants, but when you get a situation where you've got a game where the reaction to the football, it is absolutely, it is incredible. It may not be the best technical game down through the years, but it's certainly the one that catches globally an audience that are so interested in watching it, and I think that can only be good for our game. Still, step in the right direction, or should there have been more? It's up to you to give us your thoughts in the comments section. This is the Football Show. We've been looking back at international football, Ruffy, this week. We haven't had a chance to speak about it. You guys have all watched Scotland, Northern Ireland. What did you make of it?
Disappointing in the scoreline. I thought this game had been arranged for us to go into as with a positive result, which never seemed to happen. I'm not particularly going hysteria because we get beat. If it had been the Finland game at Hampden 7 days before the Germany game, yeah, I think we would have a major problem. But the biggest thing for me was we couldn't break them down. We had 82% of the game and had 2 shots at goal. That is a worry. You know, and the other stat, I mean, there's a lot of spin going on now. I mean, the spin started at the Holland game with 70 great minutes, but we lost 4 goals, you know. And the other night there it was, well, when we get to the finals, we're not going to come up against teams that are going to sit in, you know, so why are we playing them then? Why not play teams that are not going to sit in to give us the experience? Do you know what I mean? It's just, some of the spin that's coming out is just take it and move on.
Yeah, well,
it was a bad night.
Well, with all due respect, Ruffy, you've got to play different sides to have a plan A and a plan B.
Yeah, but the statement that came out after that game is, like, forget about that. The teams that we're playing in the Euros aren't going to play like Ireland. They're going to play an open, expansive game.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you say it's gospel. That doesn't mean you say, just because somebody says it as an opinion, doesn't mean you say it's gospel.
The point is, when they say we're going to play teams who have an open, expansive game, they beat us. The Spains and the Englands and all these teams that play an open game beat us quite easy.
They're the best teams in the world.
I know, but they're playing an open game, so because they're playing an open game doesn't mean we're going to go and beat them.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think the problem, especially when we're speaking about it on the Journal show, Lee, is some Scotland fans weren't happy. It is their right to boo. not happy at the performance overall. But I think from Steve Clarke's point of view, I'm not overly worried about it, because I think from Steve Clarke's point of view, it's another European Championships. Get there, get the team ready. You know who you're going to be playing. You'll have watched them. You'll have all the reports you possibly can. It's down to those 3 games.
Firstly, they've got a right to boo. Yes, right to an opinion, right to boo. I'm with you. I think Steve Clarke will be quietly annoyed. But that's part and parcel of international football. They get booed off at half time, and then it was a disappointing performance, disappointing result. But we still have a long way to go before that first game, and you don't need to be peaking just now. You need to be peaking in the first game, and I'm not trying to paper over cracks. I'm well aware. I think it's 7 now. I'm really no concerned. Back to back major trophies. We've not done it for I don't know how long to get one, but to get back to back, I'm in the Steve Clarke camp. The boys, see when you look historically for maybe the last 10, 15 years, see friendlies, Scotland have been terrible.
Yeah.
We've been really, really bad. And it's Steve Clarke that's changed the qualification games roundabout, so I think he deserves credit. We're in a wee bit of a blip now, performance-wise, with 7 games, but I think it's too early to be really concerned.
The other aspect of it, Tam, is I don't think any of us are in a situation where we have suddenly looked at it and said, oh, there's a problem with the back line or there's a problem with the front line. We know that defending has been a problem in that central area, and we know that goals are hard to come by if McGinn doesn't chip in with the goals, or McTominay.
Yeah, I think this type of game, Peter, is a game that we've struggled with for even probably going back to Ruffy's era. You know, where you're playing against a team who come and sit in and you've got to break them down, particularly when they scored first. Second half they just sat in, you know, and we couldn't break them down. We're missing somebody with a wee bit of X factor or a wee bit of guile, or just somebody that can do something different. You know, James McFadden for example, somebody that can go and beat a player. We haven't really got anybody in the wide areas that can go and beat a man, commit people, you know, take people out, eliminate people out of the game, and put crosses in. We're quite one-dimensional in the way we play, but it suits us. I think Steve mentioned it after the game. Germany will come and attack us. Germany will think they're better than us. Hungary will think they're better than us. Switzerland will think they're better than us. They'll just come and attack us, Peter. Yeah. And if we can sit in deep and then use our running power, the McGinns and the McTominays, that's when we're best. Robertson in the wide areas, maybe Patterson or Hickey. So it's a disappointing result, disappointing performance, but as Lee said there, I think we've won 2 out of 19 friendlies and we've won 15 out of 18 or 19 competitive games, so it's clear we're absolutely rubbish at friendlies.
Can I just correct you on something, by the way, and sometimes, you know, when we make a statement on the programme, it can be wildly inaccurate, and I feel as if, obviously being the host, that I've got to correct you. In Ruffy's time, there wasn't a situation where, you know, they lost games like against a Northern Ireland or a Wales or in England. Ruffy, in his peak, when I was a boy watching the Tartan Army, watching Scotland play, they won these games because they had fabulous players. What happened with Ruffy's team is they peaked in these matches and then got to the tournament and made a complete arse of it. they flipped it.
The opposite.
They flipped on its head. What happened is everybody's going to the tournament thinking, we could win this. And then Ruffy and his mob, they totally and utterly dampened our expectations to the point.
Well, you're better doing it the other way, Peter, than we were doing it now.
I think so.
You're better being rubbish in friendlies and being good in competitive games, but yeah, I just thought as soon as they scored the goal, and I thought Northern Ireland were miles more up for it than we were. I think we treated it as a friendly. You could see the first 10 minutes, Peter. Northern Ireland were flying into tackles. They were really, really up for the game. We weren't, and there are a lot of young players in the team, Peter. A lot of hungry, young, enthusiastic players, and it was their kind of cup final, and we weren't at it. And
bit of a blow, Andy Robertson, though, isn't it?
It is, Peter, but hopefully he's okay. The one for me that was disappointing was Patterson. I know he's getting a lot of criticism and he's not been playing, but he looked miles off it, Peter, and I don't know if Alan Hickey's going to be back, so it might be you're going to have to go with Patterson, but I think
for when?
For the Euros. Hickey's touch and go, I believe, you know, according to
that's
Stephen Presley.
Patterson was a wee bit off it
Aye.
for his own standard.
He's not been playing, which is...
I know.
Yeah.
So it's difficult.
It's difficult, Peter, and we need him. I don't think he's going to play any time soon at Everton. So, listen, as long as we can get a full squad going into that game, Peter, Shankland must be in the reckoning to start that first game. I thought Dykes was poor the other night, and I thought Shankland not only played well in Holland, missed the chance, but I thought when he came on the other night, he had a chance that was blocked on the line.
Yeah.
I think he's pushed himself kind of up the pecking order to maybe start that game in Germany.
Yeah, well, Shea Adams has mentioned the fact that there are 3 strikers that all have something different to offer the country now.
Yeah, I think it's a good option to have for the manager, and definitely a headache because all 3 of us bring a different quality and a different feel to the game. So it's up to the manager, with the 23-man squad that he has to pick. I think everyone's always keeping a close eye on each other from afar. So everyone just has to keep doing what they're doing at club level to warrant a place to go.
Yeah, the one good thing is the 3 strikers, whoever gets the nod, their work rate is certainly not in question. Couple of games still to go as warm-ups before we get to the real deal, and that's when, as Lee mentioned, Scotland will be judged. The Euro 2024 groups have been finalised. I don't know about you, but I was gutted that Wales didn't make it. Here we have it: Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland, Spain, Croatia, Italy and Albania. Oh, good luck Albania in that one. Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia and England. And then Poland, Netherlands, Austria, France, Belgium, Slovakia, Romania and Ukraine. And the final group, Turkey, Georgia, Portugal and the Czech Republic. So there you have it for Euro 2024. Let's go to domestic issues now. You can give us your thoughts on, of course, Scotland as well. But we're back to the football, and there are some cracking games to look forward to in the Premiership, and one humdinger, as they say, in the Scottish Championship as well, that we will discuss, as well as looking at the big game down south with, of course, everybody wondering who's going to be out on top. Will it be Man City or Arsenal? We'll get the boys to give us their prediction as well. Brandan Rogers is going to be in the Ibrox dugout after an SFA charge was heard. That 2-match suspension is now 1 game suspended. This means he'll be in the stand for Sunday's game at Livingston, back in the dugout for the Old Firm derby. This was obviously after his comments against John Beaton, the referee. This is what Brandan Rogers had to say about it all. We're disappointed with the outcome, but we respect the decision. My thanks go to the club for their unwavering support to help fight it. I've never been banned ever before in my time in management. We will take our punishment at the weekend, and then I'll be looking forward to that game afterwards against Rangers. Just out of curiosity, it was probably common sense, Ruffy. Where was he going to sit? In a stand with 50,000 Rangers fans, no Celtic fans.
He'd probably have to sit with the Celtic directors in the Celtic bit of the director's box.
Yeah.
That's the only option he would have.
It's a tough seat, isn't it?
Oh, it'd be a tough seat for him. Obviously the crowd are quite close to you, aren't they, in that stand? But he wouldn't have had any option. That's better there than nowhere.
Yeah, he's in. Which reminds me of that day at Hampden when Rangers in the semi-final won the penalty shootout, Ruffy, and we were in the press box right over on the left-hand side, and I can tell you, Lee, I was tapping the computer and it wasn't on. And Ruffy was about as much use as a chocolate teapot in defence of me. I
was just hoping the wired fence would hold its ground.
Anyway, he's in there for that game, and I think he'll be well pleased that it's reduced to a 1 match. It's an interesting weekend because Celtic could be back in second place behind Rangers by the time they play Livingston on the Sunday. Rangers are going to play Hibs on the Saturday. So, quite simply, Rangers against Hibs is, for me, game of the weekend in the Premiership.
Yeah, as Peter, I think that Hibs have finally got their act together. They've put a consistent run of form together in the league. Obviously, they not only lost the match in the cup, but lost their head. I thought at times at Easter Road as well, and you can't do that at Ibrox. It's a hot atmosphere. Every time Hibs roll into town, the Rangers supporters are up for it. and the players will be as well. They want to go above Celtic and put the pressure on them on the Sunday. But Hibs have got players in that team that can cause Rangers problems. Again, like I always say, I think you've got to score first at Ibrox and Parkhead. If you score first, then as you seen with Motherwell a couple of weeks ago, they got the first goal and they were on to win the game. If you score first, you've got something to hang on to. The Rangers fans become upset. Rangers have lost the last 2 games at home, Benfica and Motherwell. So if Hibs can get that first goal, then you never know. But I'm not sure Hibs defensively are strong enough to go to Ibrox and get a result. I think in the midfield to front they're capable of scoring maybe 1 or 2 goals, but defensively they're suspect at the back.
Yeah, Patrick Mullen, our reporter, was out at the Rangers training centre today.
Rangers are preparing to take on Hibernian tomorrow afternoon, but before all of that, the big breaking news coming out this afternoon is that Celtic and Rangers have agreed a 5% fan allocation for all of the old firms starting next season. Speaking about that decision this afternoon, Rangers boss Philippe Clement called the decision a positive one.
Yeah, for me, yes, for sure. I think everybody loves football with 2 sides of fans who sing against each other or sing towards each other, and to have this atmosphere. So nobody enjoyed the COVID period when there were no fans. That was really difficult.
Rangers will take on a Hibernian side which they have comfortably defeated in the opening 3 games so far this season with an aggregate score of 9-0. But despite this clear dominance between the 2 sides, Philippe Clement has insisted this afternoon his side will have to be at their very best to win the game.
That it's a good footballing team. It's a team who creates always a lot of chances, scores also a lot of goals. I think 3rd most in the league.
Yeah, Hibs, Celtic, and then that rearranged fixture against Dundee. It's a big 3 games coming up.
Yes, none more so, the biggest being obviously against Hibs because it's the next one. Hibs are, Tam knows them inside out. They've been up and down. I think they're starting to get it together, but how long have we been saying how defensively poor they are? I think midfield going forward, they've got players that can hurt you. I think it'll be a really difficult game for the Rangers' perspective. Hibs can go there with, I'm not going to say no pressure on them because they're trying to still get into the top 6. But Rangers have got a couple of players back, I think, in the squad. So maybe see the last 10-15 minutes of your Seamas and Daniela's not back, and the 2 international players. Yilmaz is out, isn't he?
Yeah.
As well. So it'll be interesting to see how Barisic, having not played for maybe 4-6 weeks, whatever it's been, how he does. So yeah. I think with McCausland being back, Sterling, Dowell, I'm just reading it for there, I'd forgot that. I think Rangers will be in a good place, they'll be fresh. It'll be just interesting to see what team he goes with tomorrow.
Yeah, here's a question now which again becomes more pertinent because way back at the start of the season when you were on the programme we thought maybe it was one of those seasons where the Old Firm games could be crucial. In the end, very quickly we were all looking at each other and going, Celtic and Rangers have dropped points in games out with the derby. So now you've got an Old Firm derby coming up at Ibrox, you've got one at Celtic Park. Do you see either team dropping points elsewhere?
Obviously it's possible, but I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it. They know how important the games are. I think they'll be focused in their games. Now I think it'll come down to probably the Old Firm game. I think the game at Ibrox, Rangers need to win that to give themselves obviously the best chance to win the league. But I think for a little bit of momentum, confidence, getting the spring in your step, I think that's the important game. But as they say, always the game before the Old Firm game and the game after it are the most important games, because usually what Walter used to say is the Old Firm games always take care of themselves. So I think the Hibs game is massive. Did
you find it difficult, the pre or the post one for focus, or was it just because you were in that zone, you knew destiny was in your own hands?
No, I think you can find it difficult if the game, obviously the Old Firm game's the next game, it's the one all the fans are talking about, everybody's talking about, and it's probably easy to take your eye off the ball for the game before it. So that's maybe Walter was just a little bit of mind games with that, but I completely agree with it. I think the win tomorrow, Celtic win Sunday, we're set up for an unbelievable firm game.
Tam, what's your take on it?
No, Peter, I think that Hearts have shown this season, by beating Celtic twice, going to Ibrox and causing. I think Hibs are better. Kilmarnock away, they've shown. So I think there's still a few twists and turns when it gets to the top 6, Peter. I think that I fully expect Hibs to be in there. Obviously Hearts, Kilmarnock, St Mirren. I think they're difficult games, particularly away from home. So, no, I think there will be points dropped out with the Celtic and Rangers games. I think the teams are improved, and I don't think it's the strongest Celtic and Rangers teams that I've ever seen either.
Ruffy?
Yeah, I think when the split comes, it's always important. Celtic obviously know they've got Rangers. But, I mean, there's 5 games in that split, and when the fixtures come out, it could go for you. You could maybe have Hearts at home, and the grounds away from home, like St Mirren, they're all saying they're hard places to win. So I think when they 5 games come out, depending on who's got what at home and who's got what away from home, could be just as important.
So you're not making any judgment on it? Are you going to make a call on it? He's made a call, it's the Old Firm games, he says no.
No, I don't think it's the Old Firm games. I think somebody in that 5 split will take points off of one of the 2 of them. Okay,
we will wait to find out to see if that's the case. Yeah, absolutely. He's got the bit between his teeth at the moment. It's just Celtic against Livingston is the Sunday at Livingston. And I caught up with, obviously, David Martindale. Celtic themselves could be, as we mentioned, back in second place, trying to leapfrog Rangers, albeit with Rangers with a game in hand. And I don't think it's the game against Livingston where Callum McGregor's going to come in, Ruffy. I think, if anything, they're going to try and keep him in cotton wool for the game at Ibrox.
Yeah, and managers seem to do that. If there's somebody been out for a long time, you don't want to take the risk on that surface. So they'll just have to wait and see what the team is going to be. And as we all know, when Rangers and Celtic go there, they either win quite comfortably or it's a wee bit of a struggle for whatever reasons. Livingston are still believe that they've got something to fight for, although I don't think they have. But the players will go out there and give their all, but I still think Celtic have got too much for them.
Yeah, it's funny actually speaking to a few of the Livingston players the other day there and sitting down with David Martindale. The players felt as if they were in a good place when they realised there was 2 or 3 key players out in that game, albeit eventually they lost 4-2 in the Cup. But when you look and you see there's no Carter Vickers, there's no Callum McGregor, Livingston thought to themselves, we can get at them.
I think that's always been the same, Peter, when a team sheet comes in. If you're a Hibs player, a Hearts player, Livingston, St Mirren, and you look and you say, by the way, they've got 3 or 4 big players missing today. And the manager will drum it into you, come on, this is not the strongest Celtic Rangers team. And it does give you a bit of belief. If the Celtic team or Rangers team comes in their full strength, you think, we're up against it today. So it does give you confidence, and I'm not surprised that David did say that. And they'll take confidence from that performance at Parkhead, because that's probably the best I've seen Livingston all season. I thought they played really, really well at Parkhead in the Cup game. And they'll need to be absolutely, 11 players playing at their full potential to get in off of Celtic. But I don't see it happening. I think Livingston are gone, and I think it's just a matter of time before mathematically they're relegated.
Yeah, he's doing his best to try and keep the players focused and try and get them to be ready for the games that really do mean something, although he does dispute, David Martindale, that the game against Celtic is a free hit.
No, definitely not a free hit. I've never really seen them as free hits, but I understand the analogy behind it. But no way we are in the league, it's 100% not a free hit. We need to pick points up. We've got any aspirations to stay in this league.
Okay, give us your prediction on the 2 games then. First of all, Rangers Hibs.
Rangers to win 2-1 and Celtic to win 2-0.
Okay, I've got 2-0. Lee?
Rangers to win 2-1, Celtic to win 2-0. That same as you?
Yeah. Okay, I've got 2-0 Rangers and 2-1 Celtic.
I think it'll be 2-1 Rangers, and I think they'll score very, very late in the game to win the game. I think it'll be tight, and Rangers will score late, maybe a penalty.
Does that keep you okay with the Hibs fans?
It does, aye.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were trying to say that. Hibs have really battled well for 89 minutes. Yeah.
Then Rangers will get a penalty. And then Celtic 4-0.
4-0.
Aye, I think they'll batter Livingston.
Yeah.
Aye.
I haven't seen any evidence of
Sweet name,
4-0 about.
Celtic are starting to get a few bodies back. 4-0, easy.
At Livingston?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Have you put that in the predictor?
Yes.
Fantastic.
That's why I'm in the top 13.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping you can win it, save us a fortune. Hearts against Kilmarnock. Hearts sitting third. 11 points clear of fourth place Kilmarnock. I know he won't say it, but I can't see anybody catching them, Ruffy, can you?
No, I can't either. I mean, Hearts seem to be in a right good place just now, signing up players left, right and centre.
Yeah, what do you make of Vargas? Good deal, 5 years?
Well, the 5 years just, I mean, any player can go within 5 years, you know. I think they're just predicting that there's somebody they think they're going to get money from in maybe in the next couple of years. But certainly they're well organised, they're well ahead of everybody else in their sort of a position in the league. So I think they're buzzing just now. I think Kilmarnock maybe went off the boil just a bit. I know they came back and got a result, but no, I think Kilmarnock have had their good part of the season. I think Hearts will win that one.
All right, okay. So for all the Killie fans out there, if you've got any tickets left for any of the games, it just doesn't look as if there's any point in going now. Ruffy says you've had your good part. Ruffy says you've had your good part. Boom, baseball bat right out in the left field. Before we talk about Kilmarnock, of course, Tam thinks Lauren Shankland shoe in there for the Scotland squad for the Euros. Of course, Steve Naismith has been talking about that. Everybody's got their opinion on whether they think Shankland will be, never mind the Euros, whether he'll be a Hearts player next season. There's some are saying he's definitely going to Rangers. Some say, I'm not so sure.
I know we've also got the other bit where he's got to be starting. Where if maybe only a month ago we're saying he's got to be on the plane.
Yeah.
So I can't wait till the squad gets announced. He's obviously a quality player. Let's just hope for the country's sake that he's on the plane and he gets minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Alison McConnell was out there at the Orium to hear what Stevie Naismith had to say.
Hearts manager Stephen Naismith believes that Lawrence Shankland has enhanced his prospects of starting for Scotland at the European Championships after his performances for Steve Clarke's side against the Netherlands and Northern Ireland.
For me, he's again enhanced his position within the national team. I think this whole season's been a bit of a should he be in the squad, shouldn't he be in the squad, to then should he make the Euro squad, should he not, and at each step he's answered the questions, and I think again in this trip he's answered the questions. The biggest question mark over Lawrence was, can he play as a kind of lone striker, hold the play up, link the play, because people didn't think he could do it. He showed in the Holland game he can, and he's good at it. And he's also a goal threat. In the 2 games, he's managed to get in a position where he's getting 2 chances in each game, which is the safest part of his game. He's going to score goals. He'll score goals for us. He'll score goals at international level. So I think he's enhanced his position within the group.
And to domestic matters, Hearts take on Kilmarnock with Naismith keen to ensure that his side not only consolidate that third place finish and relish the concluding aspect to the campaign, but also set in place the foundations to go into next season.
Now we're going into the period where we can really look at what each win will do for us. That's for us individually, that's what we need to focus on. We've obviously got a semi-final in this block of games coming up that's really important. So yeah, healthy squad, competition, and now it's an enjoyable time. The weather turns, and all the reward for a hard, successful season is there for you to enjoy if you do it properly.
I hope he's right with the weather turning, by the way.
Well, I was going to say, you get
everything
with Stevie Naismith here. He's talking about international chance of one of
Michael
his players.
Fish.
Talks about the game, talks about the weather. It's absolutely magnificent. He's top drawer. And again, they're up against the team in Kilmarnock. Ruffy, you've completely written them off, but when you look at the defeated St Mirren by 5-2 in the last league game, you know, this has got the makings of a really good game. Who do you see coming out on top with this one?
I think it'll be a close game. I think Kilmarnock have got goals in them. The strikers, I think Van Veen got a couple in a friendly as well, so maybe he's getting a wee bit more fitness back. I see it being tight, but Hearts for me are just too strong for everybody outside the Old Firm. I'm going to go for 2-1 Hearts.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Kilmarnock, then they've got away to St Mirren, and then Livingston even before they go to Ibrox before the split. So the next 3 games, Stevie Naismith will be looking and saying to himself, well, this will just cement our place.
It's a chance to get 2 nearest challengers. You're playing third and fourth in the next 2 games. You know, you win both those and third's tied up, and you can go and concentrate on trying finishing as close as possible to Celtic Rangers. But I agree with Lee. I think that Kilmarnock are obviously much better at home. Their home record's far better than it is away from home. Hearts at Tynecastle, you know, they've got goals in them, and I think they'll win that narrowly 2-1 as well.
Ruffy?
Yeah, I'm going to go Hearts as well, particularly obviously at Tynecastle. I think, as I mentioned there, these players that are signing the pre-contracts will just give the rest of them a wee sort of a G-up, you know, what's happening next year, and they'll want to make sure that they are in the 11. 2-0.
2-0, okay. Comfortable 2-0?
Oh, easy.
Yeah,
easy
okay.
2-0.
I'll go 2-1. I'll go 2-1 the Jambos. And also, Aberdeen against... Listen, if the top end's exciting, Aberdeen Ross County at the bottom end, for me, is the second best game of the weekend for excitement, the unknown, and certainly for Aberdeen fans, it's squeaky bum time.
Oh, that's a massive game. I think Peter's done really well. Peter Leaving has done really well. He got the win, and then Warnock come in. They were meant to appoint a manager as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
And that didn't come about, so it'll be over to Peter again. That's a massive game. They'll be expected to win that, but you just never know. Ross County have got goals in them as well, so strong for set plays. I just think Aberdeen. I'm going to go Aberdeen 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was expecting, only due to the fact that Aberdeen themselves had intimated to everyone that they would have their manager in place. This is what the Chief Executive, Alan Burrows, had to say on the situation. The search for a new manager is ongoing. I'd like to think it's entering the very final stages. We said a couple of weeks ago we hope to appoint this during the international break, but it looks unfortunately as if that won't happen. But what I would say is it's absolutely important we get this appointment right rather than quick. While this process has gone on longer than anyone hoped or anticipated, the key focus is to ensure this appointment is right in the long term for Aberdeen Football Club. And the second part of that statement, rather than panic and go into something to get us through a timescale, it's important we get it right. We had the expectation as well, but things happen which you have to react to. We've had to ensure we didn't lose focus or what was important, which is getting the right person for Aberdeen. We also had to ensure we didn't lessen ourselves because we were under pressure of time. At the time we went public, it was on the back of Neil Warnock leaving the club, and we felt things were ready to finalise. We're still hopeful the person we've identified is someone we can appoint to the managerial role soon. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I can understand where they're coming from. It's such a big call, Ruffy, and when they open that door, you know that moment when the press are there and you open that door and then in comes the face. And this face it could be a manager to try and save Aberdeen from relegation, or it could be a manager who's got a little bit of space after this game to actually get to a situation where they can start to build for next season.
Yeah, well, they said they were going to announce somebody after the international one or during it. That leads me to think that it's somebody under contract, that they can't get a deal or something, they're probably negotiating or whatever. I think they'll be hoping that they do beat Ross County tomorrow and maybe get themselves away for that relegation bit and get them a wee bit more time. But I think it was somebody who was out of contract just now that dived in the door just now to save them. So I think it's somebody they really want that's in contract at another club.
Yeah, and if he's in contract at another club, is he? I mean, it doesn't strike me as it's going to be somebody from these shores. There would have been a sniff. We would have got a sniff. Have you've got that look in your face? Have you heard a sniff?
No.
I mean, I just don't see a sniff from anybody domestically. You know, we've all been touting Stephen Robinson, we've been touting Neil Lennon. Somebody threw in Malky Mackay's name.
It's none of them.
So it's none of them.
No, it's going to be somebody, I think, possibly from Germany or Scandinavia or something like that.
Was Michael O'Neill getting linked to it?
Michael O'Neill getting linked with it too, yeah. But I think he kind of distanced himself on the basis, look, I was there to watch a game, you know. I left them when they were winning 1-0, and then I get in the car and they'd lost 2-1.
Yeah, they need to get this right. Alan Burrows, not only Alan Burrows, but Dave Cormack, his head's in the block, I think. I think with Stephen Glass, Jim Goodwin, Barry Robson, Neil Warnock, you know, it's not been a great success rate in terms of appointing managers, Peter. So
what's heads on the block? He runs the club.
I know, but if he keeps hiring and firing people, Peter.
Well, they just all they do is they just stand around the gates, give him abuse. He's not getting the chop.
No, he's not getting the chop because it's his money, it's in there, but...
That's like that Tommy Docherty. I don't know what club he was at, but the manager calls him up to the office and says to him, I think we have to call it a day. And he says to the owner, I think you're doing a no bad job, I wouldn't go, Phil.
Exactly.
Peter, they've got to take their time in this one and get it right. You know, they've got Ross County and then they've got Livingston. You know, they've got a real opportunity to pick up 6 points. And you know, Peter will be hoping to stay about. I don't think he's going to get the manager's job. But if Peter can, you know, hang about, then he might be involved as a coach. So as long as he keeps winning, then Peter might not be leaving.
Yeah. Okay. It's not. By the way, there have been others that have been really bad, but that one we'll just let it slip under the radar.
You must think of these before.
Absolutely. By the way, he puts a lot more work into them than he does in any kind of opinion, you know. But if they lose, I mean, honestly, Lee, 27 points, Ross County. If they win, they go level with Aberdeen. This is going to be really, really nervy.
Of course it is, but Aberdeen have been poor this season. Look where they're in the league. So it's another week that we're getting into, our match day, we're getting into to say, if they win this convincingly, they can start the momentum, and then they'll turn the corner, and everyone's going to be all right. How long have we been saying that for?
Yeah.
I think if they win, and if Aberdeen win, and it looks good for Peter and they play well, it might take a wee bit of pressure off saying we're going to announce the manager right away. I'm not saying he's going to get the job. I'm just saying they might be looking at it to say, if we can't get this guy in, why don't we just stick with Peter to the end of the season, because he's doing really well.
Yeah.
And let's see where we are at come the end of the season.
I can't see
Never
that.
know.
It's a good shout. You never know, but I just think they've made too many mistakes.
Similar to they've done with Barry Robson.
Barry Robson all over again. That's why I'm looking at it.
Give him the job. Is what I mean.
What if Peter even wins the next 5 games, 6 games?
I think they're going to announce it after the Ross County match, Ruffy. I think they're going to wait to see what happens there. They've got to look and say, right, okay, we've got a bit of breathing space, or by the way, we are deep in the mire here. Here's the new manager. He's got to save his first and foremost.
I think if Ross County beat them tomorrow, the new manager would have to walk into the dressing room after the game. They'd have to bring him in right away. They couldn't wait any longer. Have him locked up somewhere.
What if they can't?
Well, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
What a big call this is, by the way, because I mean, they were very, very lucky against Motherwell. I thought they were lucky. Motherwell should have had a goal, and I thought they were lucky. So now they're in a situation they just got to win. You wouldn't be an Aberdeen fan in this game. How do you see it going?
Well, you said earlier that squeaky bum time for the Aberdeen supporters. I think it depends on many of the Aberdeen players have got squeaky bums, whether they win this game or no. Because if this is a large amount, it's going to be a long 90 minutes plus. I still think they're good. I've stuck by the Dundee Dons in the last couple of games, so I'm sticking by them again.
What's the score?
2-0.
2-0 to Aberdeen. Okay, Lee?
I think they'll concede, but I think they'll win 2-1.
Okay, I think they might just edge it as well too.
Yeah, I think they win the game comfortably. Peter 3-1 the Sheep.
3-1?
Yep.
Yeah. Don't forget that Tam's got his own Twitter account, just in case you want to leather him on that. It's been a week of it's been a week of people on Twitter getting battered. Even our own Alison was getting lacerated by Joey Barton of all people. And then, of course, in the journals we had the intelligent Stephen McGowan who said, you know, Twitter's just an excuse for people to be abusive towards you, and then you get involved in a slacking match with someone after he was talking about Scotland fans being entitled, and I thought to myself, how can you actually put up with it? Imagine just going on that platform, Ruffy. I mean, I'm very, very careful now when I use Twitter, going on a platform where you just allow people to belt you with a baseball bat.
Well, fortunately, I'm at an age where I don't need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just stay away from it.
Absolutely. What's it like reading papers, Ruffy? Is it still good?
I'm a big paper reader, and I must admit that. It's my first protocol in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not every morning.
Yeah.
No, I go down.
No, he walks down. Motherwell St Mirren. Motherwell sitting 8th, 6 points off the top 6. And 5 points clear of the bottom 2 clubs. I don't see Motherwell, your old club, being involved in any worry. I think they've got enough about them, do you?
I agree. I don't think they'll get drawn into it. But they need to probably pick up maybe 9 points before. I think, what many points are they on? I think maybe 9 points.
I think they're 6 behind.
Yeah,
Hibs.
32 points.
6 behind.
By the way, they're 4 behind Dundee.
They can have a last push.
What's the games? The 3 games for the split?
The 3 games before the split, Ruffy, I'll just tell you right now, because obviously you weren't aware of them and I've got to tell you them. So the 3 games before the split they've got are St Mirren, then Dundee, then Hibs.
If they can get at home, if they can get the Hibs one with still a sniff for catching them, then
that could be a big game.
Aye.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be endangered, but being honest, I don't know where they'll end up. I don't know if they'll go top 6. I think they've shown signs they probably could get there, but they've shown signs that they could just be.
I think they'll be
where they are.
I agree with you. I think they'll be 8th. I think they'll be. I don't see them being. I don't see them being involved in getting dragged into it. I think they've got enough about them, and players are playing. Some of them obviously are playing knowing that they're going away elsewhere. Blair Spittle to Hearts, but Theo Bair, when he gets his chances, he's taking goals, and I thought they were unlucky against Aberdeen. So, give us your prediction, Ruffy.
Motherwell win 2-1.
2-1.
1 each.
Yeah.
1 each.
Draw. Right across the board. I wonder what Stephen Robinson thinks. Patrick Mullen was talking to him.
St Mirren are preparing to take on Motherwell tomorrow afternoon as they look to bounce back from that disappointing 5-2 defeat at the hands of Kilmarnock. It was a crazy second half, according to Darman O'Carroll, with just 5 goals in a matter of 18 minutes. But it's fair to say that the assistant boss isn't being too harsh on his players.
It was a crazy second half, obviously, but from our point of view, 18 bad minutes doesn't define our season. It was a challenge for us for 18 minutes, and we look back, we assess it, we can always look at the goals, we can do stuff better. But I think these boys have earned the right to kind of have a bad half or a bad 20 minutes. They've been so consistent all season.
If St Mirren pick up all 3 points and results go their way across the league, it would see them secure their place in the top 6 come the split. According to Darman O'Carroll, though, this team are only focused on the next 90 minutes.
It is 100% the cliche, but we're actually genuinely not looking further past Motherwell because it's a big game for us. They're a good side, a very good side. Ketts has got them playing some good football. They play really good distances, really good shape. So fantastic players, the likes of Spittle. So it'll be a test for us. Obviously, if we can get the win, we'll look at the table after it. But as I said, we're very happy with what we've done to this point. It's now just finishing it in the last kind of 8-9 games.
It's Motherwell versus St Mirren at Fir Park tomorrow afternoon. It kicks off at 3 p.m. and PLZ Soccer with their live, keeping you up to date.
Yeah, absolutely, and depending on what happens elsewhere, St Mirren could be pushing back into that 4th position, but they've had a great season. I don't know why I said that Stephen Robinson was going to be talking to Patrick Mullen. He wasn't there. He was obviously up at Aberdeen just signing the deal for the new Don's job, Ruffy. If he gets that job,
I don't think we'd be shocked.
Eh?
I don't think any of us would be shocked if that happened with the season that he's had.
Yeah, but we'd have sniffed out an approach by now.
Yeah,
you would have heard something. It would have been one of those situations where somebody at St Mirren would have leaked it out that he's been given permission. So can't see it. You never know. Stranger things have happened since somebody in a taxi turned around and basically said Mo Johnson's signing for Rangers. and the taxi driver phoned in and told everybody on the phone in, you can never rule it out. I think the person who was in the back of the taxi was Mo Johnson's mum. So you can't rule it out. These things, strange things can happen. St Johnstone against Dundee. Now, this is a situation where, quite simply, St Johnstone, massive. There's a wee bit of needle between them. They look at it as a kind of a, a derby in a sense, but they've got a bit of history down through the decades, so this will have a bit of needle about it.
Yeah, as I played in this fixture with Dundee against St Johnstone, and you're right, it is a bit of a Tayside derby. I'm sure the boy Gordon was involved in an incident with the boy Mellon, the head knock in the last game at Dens Park. There's a wee bit of to and fro with both managers and both teams, so yeah, I think there's a bit of needle, and I think Dundee will be looking at this game and thinking, listen, if we can win this, we'd expect Rangers to beat Hibs. We could jump back above them again into the top six. And if Dundee get in the top six, it's a huge achievement, for basically the favourites to get back down again. So, big game for both. I think Dundee are capable of going there and winning. And I think Dundee, I've been impressed with Dundee all season. St Johnstone, the onus will be on them at home to go and attack Dundee. And I think Dundee can pick them off on the counter-attack and win the game. So I think Dundee, I don't know if it's a shock, but I think Dundee can go there and win 2-1.
Okay, I've got 1-0 Dundee.
I'm going to sit in the fence, 1 each.
2-0 Dundee.
Okay, Championship, what a game.
Well,
I'll tell you right now, this is the pressure of all pressures. Dundee United against Raith Rovers. Is it the title decider, Ruffy?
no, I don't think so, because the other teams in the Championship are all capable of beating each other. It's a massive incentive to go into the game and win it. It's a massive blow for Dundee United. Kevin Holt being out till the end of the season. He'd have been possibly up there for the Championship Player of the Year, but it's a bad injury. It's a bad miss for them. But Dundee United have been huffing and puffing for, maybe 4 or 5 weeks now, so they really need somebody to step up and win the game for them.
Yeah, it's a great feature on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Our man Blair Malloy has been out there grafting, speaking to our First Division pundit Ali Graham. Ali reckons that Ian Murray's side can silence the Tannadice fans.
Inverness defended brilliantly. They took a fantastic goal for Lewis Moat, but the crowd there was boos, the crowd were restless. And once that happens, if you get a goal against you and the support aren't behind you, it can really affect the players. I fully believe if Raith Rovers can go there and get the first goal, I think that could really spur them on and maybe turn the home support against Jim Goodwin.
Yeah, interesting times. Ali knows that division well. So give us your prediction.
Dundee United to win. 2-1.
Dundee United 2-0.
Okay, wow, interesting. Lee?
I honestly don't know. It depends what Dundee United turns up. I think it's against their favour that it's at home. To give the chance of the fans turning against, just what Ali's saying there. I think I'm going to go for 1 each.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, I'll go for Raith Rovers to win it 2-1.
I think if you'd have seen the last game at Starks Park where Raith nicked the wonder goal, boy Scott Brown scored late on. Dundee United were by far the better team that night.
Yeah.
Really dominated the game and really should have won the game.
They were away from home as well.
Aye, possibly. But as Ali said, the first goal in this game is massive. I think listen, Jim Goodwin's getting pelters up there. If they go a goal behind, there will be serious pressure on the players to go and get that back.
Yeah, down south there's a humdinger of a game as well. It is of course Man City against Arsenal. Arsenal sit top of the table. They're equal in points with Liverpool. They've got a better goal difference. This is an absolute belter, and of course everybody's talking about each other's players. I think Pep would have liked to have had Declan Rice in his lineup. He certainly made a move for him before he eventually opted for Arsenal.
Since I am here, many players we wanted, they didn't decide to join us. So it's not the first one. I have a long list. Basically because they didn't want to come at the end, or the prize, or whatever, it could not happen. So he took his decision, a good one, and good luck. I think all the teams in the Premier League would have signed Declan Rice. So he's international captain for the national team from England, young player. Play with a lot of games, so regularly. So
who's going to win it? Man City or Arsenal?
Man City.
Man City?
Yep.
Yeah. Lee?
I'm desperate to see Man City, but 1 each.
1 each, okay. I'm desperate to say Arsenal. I hope they win.
No,
I hope it's 1 each because that gives Liverpool a chance.
I think
to
about
win
a draw, Peter. I can't see it. I think Arsenal are well capable going there and getting something out of the game.
Okay, just to leave you on this thought, I know Ruffy liked money when he was a player in his day, and a top player you were as well, but here's the top highest paid footballers in the world, Ruffy. Vinicius Junior 1.43 million per month. Varane 1.48, Salah 1.52, Casemiro 1.52, Lewandowski and Alba on 1.6, Haaland on 1.63, De Bruyne's on 1.7, Harry Kane's on 1.8 million a month, and Mbappe's on 5.1 million a month. I mean, can you imagine, Ruffy, going to your cash line and thinking, there's definitely going to be money there?
Your card declining at the garage, would you? Spend a tenner on your petrol.
No. I mean,
they still got to pay national insurance, no?
Yeah, that's all they are. Some sort of tax.
With a Swiss bank account now.
Would you have changed as a person if you were on 5.1 million? You still be the same Lee McCulloch?
Yes.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be fucking...
And there is it. Oh, we can't beat it. We're live, and there's yep, I can say unequivocally, still the same Lee McCulloch I knew from the early days at Motherwell. There you are, that's a Christmas tape, done and dusted. I know you'd change, Ruffy, because like Lee, you'd say, I wouldn't be effing sitting here. Anyway, on that note, shut it, don't say any more. Lee's put it right in it. Great to have Lee, Ruffy, and Tam here, and from myself, Peter Martin. Thank you for listening and watching.